That was really tough. Because the time commitment, not only that, there are some kids who go through high school and they play, they get their film, and they get offers just off the strength of their film. Like, there were a couple schools that probably got offered just off my film, but for the most part, like, I had to go see them in camp and go perform in order to, like, earn an offer. So doing that and having to drive 3-4 hours to some college campus or wherever, like, that's not an easy thing to do. So, she had to arrange with my coaches. I had my one football coach, Coach Parati, like, he took me to a bunch of colleges, like, and took out that time. And he was honestly a huge person in my life and big influence in me in my life, especially from, like, a male figure aspect, to help me out because it was just so tough. But in terms of, like, picking Penn State, it just had all the values that I wanted. It reminded me a lot of my high school. It was blue-collared. It was all about work ethic. I knew that the best people were going to play. I knew that the coaches cared about me more than just what I was going to do on the field. They wanted to make sure I was going to be a good man, a good, businessman, be successful in life. I felt like if I chose Penn State, I didn't feel like it was a 4-year decision. I felt like it was a 40-year decision, and that's what I wanted it to be. So, best decision I ever made, honestly. I've had a trend in terms of just everywhere I've been, I've ended up being a captain. High school was captain on football, basketball teams. College ended up being a captain. So I've been put in those leadership roles. But at the end of the day, like, in order to get a leadership role like that, like, you got to earn it. You got to earn the respect of your teammates. You got to show them you're the hardest worker. You got to show them that you're a guy that they're going to want to follow. And to do that, you got to show them that, hey, we all going to run through this brick wall, but I'm going to run through it first. You know what I mean? We all going to hit this thing, but I'm the first one that's going to touch this wall. And I think I've always brought that kind of mentality everywhere that I've been, and just tried to be that example, try to do it vocally as well, when it's appropriate. But I think when I did get that captain role at Penn State, that was huge for me just because to get that level of respect from my teammates and at that level, it meant a whole lot to me. And just to see the past Penn State captains and where they've ended up in life and what they've done on and off the field. I mean, it was a really, really humbling moment for me to be able to be selected as from my teammates. When I got to co-host that show my junior year, that was like such a cool experience. Like, there aren't a whole lot of things like in college you get to do where it really feels like real life, like something you really do in real life at a job. Like, there aren't, besides internships, and even then, it doesn't necessarily feel like that. So being able to co-host that show and working with one of our reporters for Go PSU Sports at the time, and being able to sit down, have a live studio show, talk about the recruits that were coming in, talk about signing day, talk about these kids, who's going to be an instant impact player. We brought in coaches, we brought in the coaches as well and talked to them to have them talk about the guys that they had recruited. I mean, it was a really dope experience. I felt comfortable in front of the camera. It was my first time really doing something like that. So to be able to do that with her and her to tell me after the show, and be like, yo, like, I know you're majoring in econ, but you should be doing this with your life. I'd never heard something like that before. So, like, you know what? I'm going to put some energy into this because I might have just fallen on something, like,